Hi, today we're going to be discussing the term aging in place. The term aging in place refers to the ability of older adults to live in their homes and communities safely, independently, and comfortably, regardless of their age, income, or abilities. There are many choices available to those who are not able to continue to reside in their own homes. Family Caregiver Alliance lists the many types of housing options for those who may not be able to remain safely in their home. These include independent living facilities, wherein elders maintain a high degree of self-sufficiency with the added benefits of meal plans, housekeeping, transportation, and social activities. The next is continuing care retirement communities, which are similar to independent living in that they offer many of the same amenities with the added benefits of owning the living space rather than renting. And then for those who are unable to remain in their communities, they are able to sell their apartment or condo. Multi-level retirement communities are the same idea as the community care retirement communities, except that these spaces are not owned by the individual. They are rented. Assisted living facilities offer a higher level of care than independent facilities, wherein an elder may receive 24-hour supervision, medication administration, meals, housekeeping, laundry, transportation, and social activities. Board and care facilities are non-medical care homes. They're similar to assisted living facilities, but these homes have a limited number of residents, which allows for more personalized care and attention. The next is memory care. These are facilities that offer specialized care for those with dementia with additional safety precautions such as locked doors and door alarms, as these residents are at risk of wandering or elopement. The staff at these facilities have specialized training that make them more well-equipped to handle residents with dementia. And finally, we have skilled nursing facilities, which are also called nursing homes. They provide care for those whose medical needs are not acute enough for hospitalizations, but they are needing advanced medical care. These facilities offer 24/7 nursing care, and the supervision is ideal for those with medical needs, such as people needing a course of IV antibiotics, feeding tubes, those who are new to oxygen, or who need specialized wound care. It's important to note that these facilities are often the most expensive. Skilled nursing facility stays are usually for post-acute care, in cases where a person is medically stable for discharge from a hospital, but require a higher level of care than an assisted living facility, independent living facility, or home with home health care. A resident may stay in a skilled nursing facility for long-term care depending on the individual circumstance. So according to the U.S. Census Bureau, the 65 and older age group will reach 20% of the population by the year 2030. An aging population presents challenges and opportunities for businesses, governments, and the society as a whole. Most of these challenges and opportunities will involve caring for and supporting the expanding elderly population. While traditionally, many aging adults have either been cared for in a relative's home or in a long-term care facility, more and more aging adults are considering aging in place or living in their own homes and communities for as long as possible. The question then becomes, when should an elder be removed from their home? Or more importantly, who gets to make that decision? Should the sole determination for aging in place be left to the elder themselves? Or should that decision be made by the elder's family, their physician, or some other outside entity? With approximately 75% of individuals 65 and older reporting that they wish to stay in their own homes for the remainder of their lives, this becomes a question that will need to be thoroughly examined in order to maintain the client's dignity and worth and promote their right to self-determination. My name is Jessica Bartholomew, and I will be arguing against individual choice.
My name is Chelsea Fannin, and I will also be arguing against individual choice.
My name is Lauren Helen, and I will be arguing in favor of individual choice.
My name is Kimberly Lewis, and I will also be arguing in favor of individual choice.
Aging in place is less expensive than placement in a facility. In 2020, the national median cost in assisted living was $51,600 a year. A private room in a nursing home was more than double, with a median cost of over $100,000 per year. The monthly cost of a nursing facility in Columbia, Missouri was $5,095 for a semi-private room and $5,810 for a private room. The monthly cost of assisted living facility was $2,800, and the projected cost for a nursing home in 2031 is $8,678 for a semi-private room and $10,628 for a private room. And the projected cost in an assisted living facility is $6,126. Aging in place allows elders to maintain their independence. One study found that with home modifications and proper equipment use, it diminished a higher level of impairments that promoted functional adaptations with ADL, which stands for activities of daily living, which would give an elder a sense of independence, and the cost of equipment would be covered by Part B of Medicare, which covers durable medical equipment for necessary equipment that would be installed into the home to help the individuals with whatever needs they're trying to meet. Having Part B also relieved the financial barrier for individuals and families. Aging in place allows elders to have a familiar setting and routine, which is beneficial for those with cognitive disorders, such as Alzheimer's. Most of a person's memories are contained within their home and can provide a sense of comfort and belonging to the elder. An elder may have the same routine that they complete daily, such as housekeeping or taking care of a pet, that provides a sense of autonomy. Being able to continue living in a home assists the older person by providing a familiar environment with which contends them with the challenges and challenges them to the lifestyle that occurs with aging process. Aging in place does not mean aging alone. There are several options to help an elder remain in their home, such as home health, which is covered through insurance or homemaker services. Elders may also take advantage of the sharing economy or peer-to-peer based activity of obtaining, giving, or sharing the access to goods and services through a coordinated community and online-based services. Some examples would include Instacart, TaskRabbit, or Uber. The administration ongoing currently offers homemaker services such as case management, transportation, and home delivered meals. For older adults who do not qualify for state or federal services, or those who prefer more flexible or diverse offerings, share economic services may enable them to have their caregivers handle particular tasks that they are less capable of doing for themselves. This would include grocery shopping, laundry, housekeeping, and home maintenance repairs. Living in one home allows them to have a sense of purpose and a reason to keep them busy. Living independently in one's home necessitates a certain amount of work to have in order to care for oneself and the home. Maintaining a household and keeping tasks such as feeding a cat, tidying up, or cooking keeps a person busy, but more importantly, it keeps them active, staying active, and associated with better all-over health.
Thank you, Lauren. We do not deny that in a perfect world, all persons should remain in their own homes. Although the benefits of aging in place are many, they do not eliminate the barriers older adults must overcome to remain in their homes. Every year, millions of older adults ages 65 and older will suffer a fall, with 1 in 4 older people falling each year. Less than half of those who suffer falls will tell their physician. Having one fall doubles the chances of falling again. Those living alone are at risk of being unable to call for help. Being unable to call for help means that an elder may be on the floor for an extended amount of time. Laying on the floor for more than 1 hour is strongly associated with serious injuries, admissions to the hospital, and subsequent moves into long-term care facilities. Elders who suffer falls are at risk of hip fractures. In the first 3 months following a hip fracture, older adults have a 5 to 8-fold increased risk for mortality. 8 years following a hip fracture, elders' risk for mortality is still doubled. Elders who remain at home often face a lack of support systems that and may not have a willing and able caregiver. For elders who do not have a regular caregiver or who lack a caregiver who is willing and able to provide the necessary care, placement may be necessary. Elders who have an inadequate support system have worse outcomes than those who receive a higher degree of care at home from a family or caregiver support. The inability to accomplish essential activities of daily living may lead to unsafe conditions and poor quality of life. Older adults with unmet needs in daily living are at risk of dying, particularly those with moderate and severe unmet needs. Self-neglect in the elderly is a pervasive public health issue that affects 1.2 million elderly each year. Self-neglect generally manifests itself in an older person as a refusal or failure to provide him or herself with adequate food, water, clothing, shelter, personal hygiene, medication, and safety precautions. Various studies show that self-neglect accounts for 40 to 77% of all cases brought to Elder Protective Services in the US. And it is estimated that these trends are on the rise. An elder in poor health may require a higher level of care than what can be provided in the home. Elders with Alzheimer's disease or other forms of dementia may lack the cognitive ability to decide for themselves what is best. In these cases, the family, in conjunction with the elder's care team, including their primary care physician and social worker, make the difficult choice to place them in facilities where they will be adequately cared for and kept safe. Memory care facilities are a great option for these cases, as they are often locked and secured so that the elder cannot wander or elope. Older adults may find it difficult or may be unable to keep up with routine home maintenance. In older adulthood, keeping up with routine maintenance around the house, such as mowing the lawn, cleaning the gutters, and keeping up with chores, becomes very difficult. For many families, it is difficult to assist with these tasks when trying to run their own household, and paying privately for a chore worker can be cost prohibitive for many. Placing an elder in a residential care facility or an assisted living facility allows them to live in a home-like setting without the added tasks of keeping up with home maintenance. Maintaining safety in the home can be expensive as well. For elders who would like to remain in their home, making the necessary modifications to the home to maximize safety can be costly. Home safety accommodations, such as installing grab bars in the shower, lowering cabinets or kitchen appliances, adding railings on stairways, etc. Those can all be expensive. Elders who remain at home often experience loneliness and depression as a result of social isolation. Research has linked social isolation and loneliness to a higher risk for a variety of physical and mental conditions, including high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity, a weakened immune system, anxiety, depression, cognitive decline, Alzheimer's disease, and even death. Residing in an assisted living home can improve quality of life by creating a cohesive social environment and encouraging social participation and family involvement.
Thanks, Chelsea. Having a home is an important part of one's identity. It is not just a roof, but also part of one's self and self-identity. Especially for people who have lived in the same home for a number of years, the home becomes an important part of their life. Women can have an exceptional attachment to their home as well as the place that they raise their children. The home contains all their memories and almost serves as an extension of oneself. A home can also be a meaningful reflection of one's aspirations or as a status symbol. It reinforces one's sense of self-identity, sense of being needed and useful to others, and their sense of independence and autonomy in the world. Most older adults have a strong attachment to their home and community. Housing and neighborhood satisfaction are important indicators of an elder's psychological and overall health and well-being. There are not only benefits to aging in place, but there are also drawbacks for an elder to have to move from their home and community. Studies show that an elder who is forced to move from their home or community are at risk for declining health. If a person must move from their home to a nursing home or other assisted living community, the elder person can lose their ability to remain a competent manager of their own self-care. When aging in place occurs, the elder person is able to maintain their connection to their home and community, which fosters an elder's cognitive abilities. A sudden move from their home to any type of assisted living facility can affect a person's cognition, autonomy, self-care, and emotional well-being, and can negatively affect their physical health and well-being. Nursing homes and other long-term care facilities are among the places with the highest rates of elder abuse. Despite government intervention, abuse continues to remain a rampant issue in society, with studies showing that approximately 10% of people over the age of 65 experience some form of abuse. Further, for every case of elder abuse reported, it is noted that approximately 13 cases go unreported. Among the devastating effects of abuse, older adults may sustain physical injuries, psychological harms, and financial losses. Traumas may lead to compromised health, hospitalization, and mortality. Elders may also experience deteriorated family relationships, diminished autonomy, and institutionalization, which may result in a diminished quality of life.
Thank you, Kimberly. Those are good points. There are several options, however, for seniors to afford the cost of alternative living arrangements. Some of these options include subsidized housing, ALFs based on income, LTCs built to insurance, Medicaid waivers, and veteran benefits. According to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, as well as the Alzheimer's Association of America, some of the options for paying for living facilities include Section 202, VA benefits, LTC benefits, Medicaid, non-Medicaid state assistance, and Social Security. Some other points: ALFs and ILFs offer more opportunity for engagement with peers around the same age group in a variety of activities aimed at sharpening cognition. Regular exercise or an exercise plan can be tailored for the needs of the older adult as well. And we can also be sure that the resident is getting enough food and proper nutrition. Medication compliance can also be monitored to be sure medications are not overly or underly used, and any adverse medication reactions can be monitored by nursing staff. And lastly, more interaction with medically trained staff who can spot certain issues before they become something more serious, such as the beginnings of a stroke.
Absolutely. In an ideal world, all elders would be able to age in place, that is, to remain in one's own home indefinitely. But we do not live in an ideal world. Elders who stay in their own homes are at an increased risk of physical, emotional, and psychological harm. For elders who have a lack of support from family, they are at an increased risk of social isolation, deteriorating health, cognitive decline, and an inability to keep up with routine home maintenance creates an unsafe environment. Self-neglect is prevalent among elders living at home alone. The expenses associated with placement in an assisted living or other facility are comparable to the cost of home maintenance, paying out of pocket for a caregiver, and making necessary modifications to maximize safety and independence. Elders have options when it comes to paying for assisted living, such as Medicaid, long-term care insurance, and veterans benefits. In these facilities, elders are able to engage with their peers, form bonds, and socialize with others experiencing similar situations. Although an elder would ideally get to choose when the right time to move into one of these facilities is, this is often not possible for concerns regarding safety, security, and the overall well-being of the elder.
Thanks, Chelsea. Findings also suggest that aging in place has positive effects on an elder's psychological, emotional, and physical well-being. Women and people who have lived in the same home for a number of years are especially connected to their homes and sometimes view their home as an extension of themselves. They maintain a strong emotional attachment to their homes and communities that enhances cognition and the ability for them to provide self-care. Elders are less likely to suffer from financial losses, elder abuse, and cognitive decline when aging in place. An elder who ages in place is also more likely to retain familial bonds, maintain independence, and they are able to provide care for themselves for a much longer period of time.
So in conclusion, there are many options available for older adults who want to age in place. Should an individual want to continue to reside in their current residence, modifications to the home may be necessary to be sure that it's safe and minimizes falls or other accidents. The list of other out of the home options should be explored and may depend on what is necessary medically for the individual, the caregiver, and the family. Whether you support aging in place at home or outside of the home, it's important to listen to the wishes of individuals and explore all other options. No matter what side of the debate you're on, it's important to know what's available in your area and what your family can or can't afford. It may be wise to start this conversation now.